Rolling home, oh rolling home, oh rolling home, they land to thee. Rolling home to Bunny, Scotland, rolling home across the sea.
Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Bryon of Hessan County and I'm glad that you could join me again today. Today's video is going to be part of a short series that is discussing one of my recent games, the sailing TTRPG Perilous Voyage. In this game, each of the players takes the role of a crew member on a fictional sailing ship going on its important mission into a newly explored sea. In the first video, I will introduce some basic ideas behind the game. Then we'll start addressing specific game mechanics. In Perilous Voyage, we will use several systems combined together in order to create an immersive and interactive system experience that is also quick and easy to set up. Each of these systems will be the focus of its own video. By the time that you reach the end of this short video series, I hope that you will be fully immersed into the basic knowledge and confidence that you need to run a session of Perilous Voyage with your companions. Please feel free to leave any comments or any questions on the videos if you have any that come up, and please be sure to subscribe to the channel to not miss out on any of the other Perilous Voyage content or any other content that I create here on Hessan County. In this next video in our series, this is video number 2, we will be taking a look at the character creation and dice mechanics. To start though, we're going to be taking a look at those dice mechanics, which primarily rely on the Caltrop Core system. Whenever players are role-playing in a scene in the game, and they need to determine the outcome of an action, they roll on a pool of 4-sided dice. The outcome of the event, the action you're trying to accomplish, is determined by the actual result that you get on your dice. A roll of 4 on your dice is considered a complete success. You have achieved what you wanted to do and then potentially achieved even more, depending upon what type of roll it is. So for example, you're trying to make something, you roll a 4, you not only made it, but you made it like really high quality, or you made it really quickly, or you gain some other sort of potential narrative advantage that might be helpful. A roll of 3 is just considered a standard success. You have achieved what you wanted, and that's about it. A roll of 2 is generally considered a failure. You have not achieved what you wanted to accomplish. However, there aren't any other real negative repercussions or consequences as a result of your failure. You just haven't done what you wanted. A roll of 1, however, is a failure with consequence. In this particular case, you have not only not achieved what you wanted, but there may also be additional negative consequences to your failure, like potentially maybe you've tried to make something and then you ended up destroying the supplies that you needed, and therefore you can't do it again, or at least attempt again. So far we've been discussing the dice mechanics that we are going to be utilizing in Perilous Voyage under the assumption that we'd only be rolling 1 die. However, there will be plenty of situations as you play the game where your character may potentially get to roll more than 1. Part of what decides how many dice are rolled is whether or not you're gaining assistance from another character. If your character is attempting to do something and another character is attempting to help them, then you will get to roll 1 extra die. So, for example, if I'm only rolling 1 die, I would get to roll 2 if another character is helping me. However, your own character's abilities will increase the number of dice to potentially up to 3. So, if I'm rolling at the maximum ability of my character plus assistance from another, that would be a total of 4. The result of the roll is determined by the die that has the highest number. So if I end up rolling 2 2s, a 3, and a 4, then the 4 is the only thing that really matters. What exactly determines how many dice your character will actually be rolling is the blossom, which you can see over here in the corner. The blossom is obviously called such because it looks like a flower, but what it actually is inside of the overlap spaces we have keys. These keys are basically fundamental characteristics of your character's background and personality. For example, these could be a profession that you currently practice, or maybe a profession that you have practiced in the past. It could be a major life event that has occurred that has significantly shaped your sort of abilities or experience. Or they could be a reputation that you have gained. They could be hobbies or other things that your character really likes to do in their free time that then influences things that they are capable of doing going into the future. The outside lobes of the Venn diagram, the sort of the shape that's not overlapping, right? The petals, let's call them, that is where the character's skills go. Now, skills are things that your character has become particularly good at because they exist at an overlap of some of these key elements, these keys, right, that your character has. So let's take a look at a practical example to kind of help explain this a bit better. This is a character named Surgeon Stevens. So they're basically the medical doctor on a ship, right? They have 3 critical keys. We have loves plants and studied anatomy, presumably when they were in school, learning to be a doctor, and artistic soul. So, for example, if this character were to potentially roll to care for a plant, like gardening, right? Or maybe trying to identify a plant to see whether or not it's edible, or trying to do other actions related to plants, right? They would presumably roll 2 dice because it falls under a key. Skills are things where your character is particularly good at the intersection, at the overlap of 2 of these keys. So, in this case, we have studied anatomy and artistic soul creating the skill illustration. The basic interpretation the player had of this is that basically they had studied the human body so much and had drawn a lot as a part of that, drafting as a part of their studies to try to like create notes and things for themselves. That combined with their sort of natural artistic talent created an idea that they are really, really good at drawing things that they've seen. That they're really skilled, particularly at drawing things like people or animals or plants, right? Or other things that they have seen, that they've witnessed, so that they can create accurate illustrations that not only show you a picture, but also tell you a story. The other skill that we have here, by combining a love of plants with studying anatomy, is pharmacology. The player in this particular case interpreted this in a pretty clear way, in that basically this character is extremely skilled at utilizing and finding medicine, or identifying things or substances, particularly focusing again on plants because of the love of plants, that their character was really good at identifying things that would be potentially bad for people in addition to things that would be good for people. So poisons, things that are toxic, right? Again, identifying plants that may be edible or not. Identifying plants that could be useful for medicine or not. Figuring out exactly how much medicine you should be giving a person or not, right? Those are all things that kind of fell under that interpretation of pharmacology. Basically, what this is trying to do is try to create a system where a player could have a wide variety of options at their disposal that in the process of creating also kind of creates a personality and a background behind the character so that they can very easily and quickly start role-playing this person, right? Just by looking at this, First, knowing that this person has a background is a doctor on the ship. The role is a doctor on the ship. Thinking about the fact that this character is really interested in plants and is really interested in drawing. Maybe they could roleplay this person as being like a botanical focused doctorish version of, let's say, Charles Darwin, right? Or this could be a very scientific type. Like whenever they end up going to a new island, what does this person do? Oh, well, the first thing they probably do is start looking at all the plants around them, right? Or maybe they get out a sketchbook, right? Maybe the first thing that this person does whenever someone gets sick on the ship is they start rifling through all of the stuff that they have in their vials and things to try to find something that might be a cure. So, again, if I am trying to have my character do an activity that could potentially apply to a key, then my character would roll 2 4-sided dice. And if I try to roll something that applies to a skill, we would be rolling 3 4-sided dice, which of course means that you have a much greater chance of success. Thank you all very much for joining me again today. This was our video discussing the sort of the blossom of character creation, and then also the dice mechanics that we have in our system. Thank you all very much for joining me, and have a good day.
If you would like to show your support for this channel or for the Hessan County blog, in the description down below you will find links to the channel coffee and also the itch store. Please feel free to take a look, and thank you for your support.